Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. It is Tuesday night, November 18th, 2025. Wherever, whenever, however you're watching, thanks for making us part of your week. My name, of course, is Tim McClellan. Of course, these two guys are my partners in crime, John Flynn, John Natale. Guys, how we doing?
Yep, doing all right. Not too bad.
I'm doing good as well. How are you, Timmy?
I'm doing okay. Although everyone's still kind of going crazy about the Dallas Cowboys beating the Raiders, Cowboy fans going crazy. Yeah, I'm happy that the Cowboys won, but let's face it, it was the Las Vegas Raiders, a team
Oh
that
my!
had a slightly worse defense than the Cowboys. But the
I,
Cowboys did add a few other guys, so it wasn't actually the defense that has been going on for a few seasons. I mean, we got a couple of rookies in there yesterday. Quinnen Williams. I think I'm going to like this guy after his performance last night, but we'll get to that a little bit later. So, and we've already got one person in our chat right now saying hello. It's who is it? Oh, Vampire Luke.
What's
It's
up, Luke?
Yeah, let's get up and get his business up there. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Okay. I think he said for his league, he's in. Sadly, my unbeaten streak in my main league is over, and I fell to 10-1.
Oh, wow. Fantastic run. Fantastic.
yeah, I mean, because
Absolutely.
someone in one of my leagues started 10-1. It's yeah, and a 10-0, but lost this week. It's but yeah, you were talking about that Cowboys Raiders game, and boy, did it play a big role in our fantasy league this week. I mean,
Oh yeah.
especially the matchup between Dino and Natale, which we're going to
Did
lead
we
off
really have
with.
to start with me?
Yes, we do, because it was the big topic of conversation in our chat last night.
Yep.
Because all the other matchups in our league were decided except for this one, and
Yep.
was boy that one came down to the wire, guys. So Tim, take it away.
Ashton Genty versus the Cowboys defense. We all know who won that one.
Really, everyone and their mother would have started Ashton Genty against the sad sack Cowboys, but this was a Cowboys defense that did add Logan Wilson and Quinnen Williams since the last time they played, and the Cowboys actually looked pretty decent defensively. And it wound up costing the Natale dearly because Ashton Genty only had 6 carries for 7 yards, and he lost by 18/100ths of a point.
Yeah. So
Why?
so we see in the Alex and John's first matchup was week 3, and Natali took that one 129-32 to 113-02. And he got the best of Alex again on this one, 126 even to 101 even. And yeah, Ashton Genty. Uh, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I'm on the wrong screen. I should be looking at that screen up there, but I'm looking at the
Yeah.
screen over here on my laptop.
Uh-huh.
So I gotta look at the get the right week. We're talking about week 11 right now, putting a nice bow on that one here. And yeah, this is the one that everyone was talking about here. Yeah, let me get that up here. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, this was like probably the lowest scoring matchup, not only for this season, but
Hey, we
pretty
made
much since
history,
we've been
folks. The lowest
since
lowest point total in history.
It's yeah. It was. I mean,
Combined point total.
I mean, this was as bad of a beat as you could possibly get,
Yeah.
and now and because Dino's now 8-3, he clinched a playoff spot with this win, and with the combination of the Cowboys defense to get with that sack at the end, gave turning from 13 points to 14 points on that defense, and then and then on the other side, so he did get he did get 6 catches, which for because in the PPR, so. And so, but I think the fact that he had the numbers he did made it made everything feel worse
Yeah.
for you. But
Mhm.
but yeah, let's see. You could have started Mark Andrews,
Yeah.
over Dallas Goedert. It, yeah. I don't know what else you could have done. Like
Yeah.
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 Oh, I see.
I
I see.
picked up Hampton out of sheer desperation. Well, he
yeah,
might be if he's healthy. I think that might be a steal. We'll see.
And I
It's,
see that. I saw that Debo Samuel left 21.7 points on the table for Dino there.
I mean, if he started Debo, if he started Devontae Smith over Debo, this it would not have been that much worse, nearly as bad,
Right.
right? But yeah, but because of that, Natale is now 5-6, while Dino is
Mhm.
8-3, and we need to go to the other elephant in the room, Tim. You're 2-9,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, I'm 2-9 after taking a defeat from my fellow Texan and my fellow Cowboy fan, Adam Oliver. 163.08, 128.32 was the difference there. Uh, I knew I was going to get some good points from Dak Prescott. I was going to get some good points from Jake Ferguson. Uh, and CeeDee Lamb did good for me. Um, Rasheed Rice going up against Denver. I don't think that was a good idea. That only 9.8 points off of Rasheed right there. And looking over on Adam's side, once again, Josh Allen getting big time fantasy points, 42.68. And right below him, Kenneth Gainwell for the Steelers, 30.5. George Kittle, 24-7. The Steeler defense and special teams, 25. I think those were the big numbers right there. And I'm looking down at my bench here. I put Bam Knight on the bench. I didn't really feel too comfortable putting him in there against the Niners, but he scored 14.5 fantasy points. And who is my running back? Aaron Jones and Tyrell Tracy? Well, yeah, I could have gotten a little bit more if I had not started Aaron Jones Sr. And Jameson Williams, I had him on the bench, scored 19-7 in a losing effort to the Eagles. So yeah, there is another receiver on the team, and his name is not Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, Jameson Williams, because he put up 19.7 points, and he wound up on a lot of people's benches because they weren't sure about his matchup against the Eagles.
Right. That's what I was thinking. And over on Adam's bench, 24.1 on the table from Travis Kelsey, and 19.3
Yeah,
from Brock Purdy. So with that, I am down to 2-9. But I have been told that there is still a very slim chance that I could make the playoffs.
yeah.
But I was just telling these guys before we came on the air. It seems like the only two ways I'm going to make the playoffs is one, I win out, and two, everyone else will have to be abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and that puts Adam at 4-7 there.
It keeps his slim playoff hopes alive with the win.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, keep an eye on my team as well as Adam. I think I've already put in a waiver for another player. But, anyway, now we're going to talk about David and Andrew and another type matchup here. 118.72 for Andrew, 117.04 for David. Looking at the numbers here, Andrew got 27.5 from Trey McBride, 20.2 from Derrick Henry, 14 from the Ravens. Got a 15.3 from T. Higgins, which I believe T. Higgins will probably be getting a few more targets this week because of well, we'll talk about that here in a little bit.
Oh my God, the Jamar Chase ejection was the difference in the game, right? In this matchup, yeah. And also all those garbage time points that Trey McBride, Michael Wilson, and Jacoby Brissett all scored in the Niners Cardinals game. I mean that was insane. The amount of yardage the Cardinals picked up in that game.
Yeah, so that's let's see what his bench players could have produced him. Oh, the one running back that. What about the one running back that no one's talking about? TreVeyon Henderson. 32, 3. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, three touchdown performance, and remember, I said this at the start of the season. Once TreVeyon Henderson becomes the RB1, he's not taking that. He's not giving that title back, and we saw. I told you that in the preseason. I told you during the draft process, whoever drafts TreVeyon Henderson is going to get a steal, and he now winds up in the hands of in the hands of Andrew, and he's got a favorable matchup this week against Cincinnati, who can't stop the run because I mean they just gave up 30 fantasy points to Kenneth Gainwell. So you think that bodes well for TreVeyon, knowing that he has 3 extra days of rest compared to Cincinnati? I mean, please.
Right.
And then George Pickens left 29.4 was left on the bench for David. So that was a bummer. AJ Brown, not as much as well. So yeah.
Oh, George Pickens, 29.4 big points from GP3.
Yep.
And so with that, Andrew moves to 7-4. David is at 4-7. Next, we're going to talk about the pain and gain battle right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this time it was Putnam with a 130.5 over Lucas with 127.74. And looking at the numbers here, Alex's big time player, Bijan Robinson again, putting up some good numbers in a losing effort against Carolina. Drake London got 18.9. Brock Bowers,
looking at Bijan numbers: 23 carries, 104 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 receptions for 39 yards. His second 30-point performance of the season in PPR format.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's just a great running back, but not everything around him is quite working well. Alex got 13 points for the Texans defense, but Texans have a rough one coming up this week.
Yeah, I mean, and also, and remember, there was a reason that Alex took Bijan with the first overall pick, and because he did that, that's why he beat Lucas this week.
Right.
And now he pulls in at 5-6, so we tie for the last 2 playoff spots with Natale.
Mm-hmm.
And that moves Lucas to 17-4. I was looking at some of Alex's bench players. Ooh. Jacoby Brissett got 21.88. Jordan Love got 17.66. Very low points left on the table on Lucas's side, but But so it is. Like I said, Alex is holding on to that final playoff spot.
Yep.
And now we talk about Casey versus Flynn, right?
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
Flynn.
the last one we're talking about.
Yep, 138.92 to 119.44. And Flynn got the benefit of 24.2 points from Nico Collins, a big 35.1 points for Run CMC. Kyron Williams improved on his projection with 16.6. Jordan Brooks with a 20 on the defensive side right there.
20 tackles in the game against the Commanders.
20 tackles. Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, they were really working him. And on his bench, well, only left 20.1 from Kenneth Walker III.
Yeah, I mean, because I had Tyler Warren and Chris Olave on bye, so that means I had to put in David Njoku, and then also put in Cortland Sutton, feeling hopeless about that, but it didn't matter because look at these numbers for Christian McCaffrey. I have them highlighted on the screen here: 13 carries, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 receptions, 40 yards, and 1 touchdown. Despite now we got 4 points from Lamar Jackson too, so it could have been a much bigger thing, but I had to ride with Lamar Jackson because Jackson Dart was on the concussion protocol.
Yep. And Casey got 13.34 from Patrick Mahomes, and got 18.7 from Chase Brown, 15 from Rico Suave, 11.1 from Justin Jefferson, 21.6 from JSN.
Yep,
I still think it's one of the top receivers in the league.
Yeah, and you could look at these numbers if you can see them, Timmy. I highlighted them right there. 9 catches for 105 yards in the loss against the Rams.
Yeah, but I'd still hold on to him if I was David.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I got now this is a disappointment here. Only 7.2 from Amon-Ra St. Brown when he was projected at 20.2 going up against those Eagles. So, and looking at the bench here, Jacoby Byers left 11.4 and 19 from the Browns. So,
yeah.
So that's pretty much. Let's go. Let's go to the standings. I think pretty much know where everybody might be right now. We have Flynn with the 1 seed, and Andrew has the 2 seed. Then you got Dino, Lucas, Natale, Alex, Casey, David, Adam, and of course myself. So, and we're getting closer and closer to the playoffs. So, if we were going to start the playoffs this week,
I'll pull that one up right now.
Yeah, so it'd be Flynn and Andrew getting the first round buys. It would be Dino with the number 3 seed going up against Alex, the number 6 seed, and then number 5 seed Natale would go up against Lucas. And meanwhile, I would be facing Adam in the consolation first round, and it would be David versus Casey in their matchup.
Yep.
So, why don't we go ahead and go forward and take a look at the matchups for this coming week. We'll start with Adam against Flynn here. Right now, Flynn has a projected total of 144.0 to 100.9. And we see where the check marks are. Adams' only strength right now is the tight end, defensive player, and the kicker.
Yeah. I mean, because two things. One, he's got George Kittle, he's got Brandon Aubrey, but also my defensive player Jordan Brooks is on the bye this week, so I will pick someone up in free agency once the waiver period passes, because there's no reason for me to put a waiver claim on a defensive player.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. So,
yeah, but I'm still starting Lamar Jackson because over Jackson Dart. Obviously McCaffrey, Kyron Williams. So yeah, but I probably am. I'm probably anticipating I'm probably gonna have to put Kenneth Walker the third into my lineup, because we don't know about Jaylen Warren's injury situation and the suddenly good performance that Kenneth Gainwell had in the Steelers' victory over Cincinnati. That's going to factor in, and so I actually this is kind of where my running back depth takes the test, and one of the things I said at the end of last season and towards this season, and why I made the trade that I did, is that running back depth matters a lot, and you're seeing why.
Yeah, I needed wide receiver help. You needed running back help, so the trade evened out for both of us.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's see. I'm looking at Adams' bench players here. He could benefit maybe putting Jonathan Taylor in his lineup. You're going against KC and Brock Purdy. He'll be facing Carolina this week.
Yeah.
So that's how that.
And to pull up. Yep, and to pull up his numbers and how difficult the matchups are. Josh Allen's got the Texans, the fewest points given up per game to quarterbacks in fantasy this year. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup between Josh Allen against the Texans defense.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting right there.
Yep.
So. Who do we want to look at next?
Yep. Let's look at next one is Natale against Alex, which is a big one. Both teams are 5-6, so they're fifth and sixth place in the league right now. So the loser of this game could be in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and right now Natale has the 126-101 advantage right now. Take a look at all the check marks, and Alex has his quarterback at RB1. Got his tight end Brock Bowers, and the kicker Andrew Borregales from New England. So he's got Egbuka, Robinson, Addison Smith, the Rams. And looking down, I'm looking at some of the bench players here. Well, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 of Natale's players are projected pretty good here over on Alex's side. Got some that's right there. So just see what kind of roster positions they change up between now and then.
I mean, I wonder if you start Dave Montgomery over Jordan Addison, because Dave Montgomery's going up against the Giants, who have given up the third most points to running backs this year, while Jordan Addison going up against the Packers, and the Packers have given up the 10th fewest points to wide receivers. So that's going to be a decision you need to make.
Yeah.
Or do you put do you do something else over that, and then you also have Ashton Jeanty. Can you trust Ashton Jeanty to give you 15 points after what happened last night?
Yeah, I'm also waiting to see what happens with Marvin Harrison too.
And And you can't start him in Hampton because the Chargers are off this week.
Yeah, I know. I picked him up as an insurance policy just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah. Casey dropped him, so I just snagged him.
Yeah, so you're part. Because you have Egbuka and Wandell, you might have to consider trying to flip a receiver to somebody for another running back in our league. So like similar to what I did with you, you're probably going to have to do it with someone else.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
I mean, you also have an extra. You have an extra. You have an open spot on your bench. So
Yeah, I have that saved in case Marvin Harrison returns.
yeah,
Because I was able to put him in the IR, even though he wasn't quote unquote in IR. Because technically, yeah, the app lets you do that. Like if they're just ruled out, you could put them in the IR spot.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, you also made it beneficial then that you have 2 IR spots in this in our league, because most leagues only have 1. In the league I commissioned, I have 3 IR spots.
Yeah, I believe that's the max.
Yeah, and then Waddle needs to and then for Putnam, he's got to figure out his wide receiver situation, because Drake London has a PCL injury, and and PCL injuries usually mean that the receiver is out for 3 to 4 weeks. So that's going to be and Jaylen Waddle is on the bye this week. So
yeah, he's got options on the bench there.
I mean, he has Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
And then Cooper Kupp and Mac Hollins. So I mean, so maybe he's a trade. He's someone you make a trade with, because he's got Tony Pollard on his bench, Travis Etienne on his bench. Is that yeah. So that's something you might have to try and see if you want to pull a trade off on that. So
Yeah, I might. So let's go to the matchup between Andrew and Dino. Andrew is projected at 120.2. Dino's at 131.2. Dino has pretty much been in control of this league from the very beginning at 8-3, and Andrew 7-4.
Excuse me, I'm raising my hand here. I'm 9-2.
And he's 9-2. So yeah, but Dino's been pretty good this year so far.
Yeah. Dino's been pretty much been the second best team in the league.
And it looks like an almost even match as far as the as check marks are concerned. So it looks like Andrew's got his running backs. Dino's got his wide receivers. Andrew's got the tight end and a flex. Let's see here.
I mean, with Andrew's running back situation, he's not going to be an easy team to beat in the playoffs, because now with the emergence of TreVeyon Henderson, and he's got Saquon and Derrick Henry. So, he's got a luxury at the running back position, but I do think he's gonna have to figure out some things in terms of trying to get the roster properly constructed for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm looking at Dino's side of the board. Jalen Hurts looking to have a big time against the Cowboys this coming week. And Devontae Smith as well. So I guess a lot of people who have Eagles players on their roster will probably go ahead and put them in a starting position. And looking down at the bench players here, well, not much activity over on Andrew's side, because he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bench players on the bye. And meanwhile, Dino has 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, he's got 2 on the bye. He's got 2 empty spots. So we'll just have to see what he does with that there. So as we're coming down to our fantasy playoffs here, things are getting pretty interesting, and yeah, we might as well go and talk about my matchup.
You said there's still 2 more left.
Oh, 2 more left. Yes. So right now, I'm going up against Lucas this week. I'm right now projected at 122.8. He's at 105.1. And looks like I've got Jared Goff here. Yeah, think about maybe a star receiver. Jake Ferguson, he did all right, but I'm not sure if I want to keep him on my bench because they're going up against Philly.
Yeah, I mean, you have no choice to because Sam Laporta is on IR.
Well, yeah, Sam Porter's on IR.
Yeah. I mean, and Jake Ferguson's been the second best tight end in the NFL this year in terms of fantasy.
Yeah.
So
I think I put in since I don't have a defensive player, I had to go search for one. I think I may have put in a waiver claim so I could get Bobby Wagner off of my starting block. And it looks like 1, 2, 3 players for Lucas is on the bye this week.
yeah, Tim's got 4 wide receivers on his bench that are projected to score 10 or more points. So
I'll make a decision on that. I got Zay, got Ricky, I got Jawan Jennings. Well, I could. I'll kind of analyze those 3 guys. I just got 4. I think the guy down at the bottom I said is a pretty good player. I might plug him in. I guess they would plug him in against the Giants. So, and who else are we taking a look at now? We're taking a look at
David and
Casey.
I mean, so the winner of this game will move into a tie for the last wild card spot with the loser of Natale and Alex.
Yep.
So right now Casey's at 153.1. David's at 74.3.
Yeah, I mean, David's going to have to make some changes because he's got 4 starters that are off this week, and yeah.
And 4 starters that are off this week. He's got 2 bench players on the IR. Two players are questionable. So, so it looks like Casey is he's looking all right unless he wants to maybe put someone else. Let's see here. Daniel Jones is projected at 9.9, while his starter Patrick Mahomes 21.4. Yeah, that usually sounds pretty good. Yeah, David's going to have to really work on his roster for this week. So yeah, we getting close to our fantasy playoffs, which will start
week 15.
Week 15. So we're only 3 weeks away from the start of our fantasy playoffs here. So we got some hot topics, although never really discussed anything. So let me ask Flynn, anything that comes to mind?
I mean we have the big time performances from TreVeyon Henderson this week. We got Sean Tucker, who we have not discussed yet. He went off against the Buffalo Bills because he had 100 yards because in the absence of Bucky Irving, he ran for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, and also caught a touchdown in that riveting performance for Tampa Bay. So I think. So you have to think that Deshaun Tucker is a must start as long as Bucky Irving is out. Don't you guys think?
I mean, I would say yes, but there is a possibility that Bucky Irving's going to return this week.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely have to see about that. But I do think although Tampa lost to Buffalo, I think that there are some positives that could be taken away from that. For that, so it wasn't totally bad. Now do I think Tampa is gonna make a run to the Super Bowl? I don't think so, because I think they're at best the fifth best team in the NFC right now, behind Philly, the Rams, Seattle, and pick your choice between between any of the NFC North teams,
Right.
and whatnot. But that's gonna be a situation. And then what about Kenneth Gainwell? And real all of Kenneth Gainwell's production came from the air, because he had 7 catches for 81 yards and 2 touchdowns against Cincinnati. So most of it without Aaron Rodgers in the game. So that's good. Could be pretty interesting to see how to see how that transpires. And then Christian McCaffrey having the game that he had. Now, Christian McCaffrey has a couple of his bye week is coming up in week 14. So so Christian McCaffrey fantasy owners are really going to have to try and get things locked up in the next couple of weeks before he goes on bye, because McCaffrey's been riding a lot of managers this year, carrying a lot of managers to playoffs, or be in position to be in the playoffs. So. So that's some good stuff right there. Yeah, and then so we have that, but there were also some notable injuries on the for some key for notable names in fantasy, because Josh Jacobs went down to an injury, and it looks like he is going to be out for multiple weeks, because of an injury. So Emmanuel Wilson came in, and he actually did pretty well against the Giants. 11 carries for 40 yards and a touchdown. So he is going to be in line to start. And right now he is the most popular name that's being thrown out there for a waiver wire claim this week.
Uh-oh. Y'all better jump on him if he's available. He may do something right here.
Right.
I want to get your thoughts on this slightly different defense that we saw from the Cowboys last night. I mean, got Logan Wilson, Quentin Williamson. They got a couple of guys came back from injury, and they beat the Raiders, but it looked a little bit different. It looked a little bit better too.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of what ifs. With Parsons, but yeah, I think with the way the Cowboys play, remember what the Eagles did? They completely overhauled their defensive line during their bye week, when they acquired Jalen Phillips, when they got Brandon Graham back, when they got Nolan Smith back from injury, and now the Cowboys did something similar, not as much to the elaborate scheme of Harry Roseman, but I mean, look, the Cowboys got a shot to beat the Eagles on Sunday. Lane Johnson is out 4 to 6 weeks with a Liz Frank injury. That's the same injury Andrew Thomas suffered last year, and that eventually knocked him out for the season. So there is an opening for the Cowboys to defeat the Philadelphia Eagles at home this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, there is a little bit of buzz going around that, and just keep my fingers crossed, keep my ears peeled to the news and all that, and see what happens there. So let's talk about
let's also because I also have the other injuries. Also the 2 big injuries for the Atlanta Falcons on offense, because Michael Penix Jr. Is reportedly suffered a season-ending knee injury in the loss against Carolina, but he's seeking a second opinion. But now Drake London is out because of injury. So your best wide receiver, who I think is one of the 10 to 15 best receivers in the game, he is now out, and he's probably going to be out for the rest of the impactful fantasy season. So I mean, is it? Do you have no choice but to pick up Kyle Pitts if he's available in leagues? Don't you think?
I would think for those of you who have Kyle Pitts on your bench, you might want to plug him in. Even though he's been kind of underwhelming so far this season, but with Drake London out, put in another player, see if he can get some more targets, maybe he can get some more catches. I mean, who knows? I mean, put him in there, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, and then with Jaylen Warren, he left the game. Two injuries for the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers left the game early in the second half on Sunday because of a left hand injury, and Mason Rudolph replaced him at quarterback. And then Jaylen Warren, we talked about this earlier, so he left with an ankle injury, and Warren Warren, he was on his way to a big game before he got hurt because he had 10 carries for 62 yards. But then Kenneth Gainwell took over in the passing game with that. Now, Mike Tomlin did say to the press today that Jaylen Warren is, quote, optimistic about his availability for Week 12. So you got to think of that right now.
Yep.
Right.
So
and then also another injury for the Chargers in term at running back because Kamani Vidal left the game on Sunday because of a thigh injury on Sunday. And like, speaking of the Chargers, that they got destroyed. And I mean, none of their players on offense played or did anything for fantasy on Sunday, and they're gonna have 2 weeks to figure things out after that. But yeah, but nobody on the Chargers scored more than 10 fantasy points. Keenan Allen had the most with 9.3. Oronde Gadsden only had 6 points. Lab McConkey, 4 points. Vidal, before he got hurt, 4 points. Justin Herbert, 3 points. Yeah, it was ugly for the Chargers.
ugly.
Yeah, so
Hopefully they've taken their Listerine and just gargled that bad taste out of their mouth and just go ahead and move on.
yeah.
Even though, but yeah, like you said, they got a couple of weeks now because Chargers are one of the bye week teams, so have a chance to regroup and get everything back together with those guys.
All right, so we have a couple of questions before we continue talking about hot topics here. Do we start Alvin Kamara or Jameson Williams?
Oh. This one's tough. It depends if it's a PPR or not. But in either case, I think I'm leaning more towards Jameson Williams. Because right now the Saints are all over the place. You don't know what we're going to get with Kamara. He's only had 1 touchdown so far this season, so it's hard to rely on him now. I'm going with Jameson Williams.
Yeah, I mean,
I probably would too.
So we're going with either Jameson Williams or Alvin Kamara. I personally would go to Jameson Williams because Sam Laporta is out because of injury, so I think he's going to get some more targets. And they're playing the Giants too, and Jordan Love made some great throws against the Giants on Sunday. So you figure that's going to be something to look at. So yeah, and he does say in another comment, PPR, it's a PPR league. So yeah, if we're going with PPR, because fantasypros.com, so because in the league that I synced my league into, one of my leagues into, has the same scoring as this. He has Fantasy Pros has Jameson Williams ranked number 41 overall among flex players, while Alvin Kamara is ranked number 58. So So I think Jameson Williams is the guy to start this week. So although I will say though that the Saints are playing the Falcons, and when those two teams play against each other, sometimes you have to throw out the whole tape because the Saints and Falcons is one of the more intense rivalries in the NFL, and sometimes I wish you have that both teams were competently run, because it would make for some great action. But like what it was for so many years when Drew Brees and Matt Ryan were leading their teams. It was always a must watch.
Yep, that's true. So yeah, that's pretty much how it's at. We're going with Jameson Williams. So Chandler Constantino 7656, thank you for your question. Thanks for watching us. Be sure to spread the word, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and tell all your fellow fantasy football players about this show. So thanks again for your question.
Yeah, and then also, can we talk about the connection between Bryce Young and TreVeyon McMillan? Because it's because Ted McMillan is having a fantastic season, because he is because in PPR scoring, Ted McMillan ranks number 9 among fantasy owners among fantasy wide receivers, and I told you he was going to be a great receiver this year, and he's lived up to it. And his best performance as a pro took place in week 11, where he had 8 catches for 130 yards, 2 touchdowns on 12 targets. All 4 of those marks were season highs for him. So. Yes, so the so he's one of the big reasons the Panthers have something cooking here, because the Panthers are 6-5. They were just a half game behind the Bucks for the lead in the NFC South. Remember, the Panthers started the season 0-2, and they've won 6 out of the last 9 games. So
that's a team that's quietly improving.
You see, the performance the Panthers had against the Falcons, and it was really so many different ways in that one. It was a riveting game. The Bucks, the Panthers came back late. The Panthers had 486 total yards of offense in that game, and this was despite not getting. Only getting 45 yards rushing on 2.44 yards per carry from Natale, who remember earlier in the season was off to a big time heater.
Yeah. So it looks like so would I be correct if I'm saying that it seems like Tampa Bay might be trending down a little bit and Carolina might be trending up?
It's not out of the question that we'll have to see, because the Sunday night and Monday night games are NFC South teams traveling to NFC West teams, because the Sunday night game is the Buccaneers and the Rams, a battle of first place teams, and then Monday night. This game will be a battle of teams that are jockeying for wild card spots in the 49ers and the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
And both NFC South teams are at least 6-point dogs in their respective matchups.
All right. Let's take a look out here. So I guess with that, yeah, I think we got a little trivia time here. So, and if I'm not mistaken, I think each one of us has a question.
I believe so, and I also believe that Dashi has a trivia question.
Oh, our friend Dashi. And by the way, just to let y'all know ahead of time, Dashi is going to be our guest picker tomorrow night on the Pen and Game Pick'em show. So y'all tune into that. Pen and Game Pick'ems Wednesday nights, 10 Eastern, 9 Central. YouTube.com, APizzle90. That's the channel you gotta watch. So He'll be joining me and Alex and Lucas for all the fun. So let's see his trivia question. Which NFL player has the most carries in a single game in history? So in the history of the NFL, who had the most? Which player had the most carries in a single game? So I mean, is he talking about running backs or receivers or tight ends or
Well, most carries. I would assume that's
so the most?
running backs.
So yeah, that would sound most likely like right. Most carries. Oh, I think I know the answer to that one. I think I have the answer to Dashy's question.
Among NFL tight ends with at least 25 receptions this season, who has the highest yards per reception rate?
Yep,
Okay.
that's my question.
Yeah.
So basically yards after the catch, essentially.
So I mean, if you have if you have 10 catches for 100 yards, you could get 10 yards per 10 yards per reception.
The tight ends were at least 25 receptions. Great. I got it down to two tight ends.
All right, so we'll answer those later. So do either one of you have questions?
I do.
All right, go ahead.
All right.
I will. So let's have Natale's
Yes.
first.
This one, I think this one might be an easy one though. I mean, as you guys know, Mark Andrews recorded a 35-yard rushing touchdown. That turns out actually that's the longest rush by a tight end in NFL history on a single play. So he's the record holder now with that 35-yard rush. Whose record did he beat for tight ends?
I think the first name I thought of, it's like one of the answers to Flynn's question here. So who knows? I may be correct, but then again, I might be fooled. But we'll just see what happens now. Okay, now we go to my question. As y'all know, yesterday, it was Ashton Jeanty who only ran for like 7 yards total in last night's game against the Cowboys. So that led me to this question here. Which running back holds the NFL history for most receiving yards?
Say that. Wait, one more time. What was that?
The question is, which running back holds the record for the most career receiving yards?
Okay.
So while we think about those answers, we got some starts and sits for all you fantasy players out there to kind of ponder on right here. A little something to chew on a little bit. So we'll start with Mr. Flynn. So Flynn, floor is yours.
All right, so I have my starts and sits of the week. So my fantasy sit of the week, I'm going to let's see. I'm actually going to do my sleeper first because I really because I think he's still available on some waiver wires. I think, but. So, but give Colston Loveland a shot this week because Colston Loveland's got a good matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. That I know it's a weekend where you got some tight ends on the bye this week. So and Colston Loveland has I think he's shown some promise in the last few weeks because in each of the last 3 weeks he's had a top 20, top 17 performance. Weekly finish in points, including a 30-point performance against Cincinnati week 9. So I could very much see things going in a good way for the for him in a matchup against the Steelers, and it could be one where the Bears might have to throw the ball a little bit against the tough Steelers run defense. So I think he's going to get some opportunities, and I think he's going to make the most of it. All right, my fantasy set of the week. I'm going to go with I'm going with Kareem Hunt, the running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's got a tough matchup this weekend against the Indianapolis Colts, a team that's coming off their bye weeks, and and running backs have not fared particularly well against Indianapolis this season. And I think this is going to be a game where if the Colts are going to be aggressive offensively, I think these things are going. The game script is going to be that you won't be able to run the ball a lot with that. Now, so is the good news for fantasy owners of Kareem Hunt that Isaiah Pacheco is not playing? Sure, but I just don't like the matchup at all for him on that regard. And my fantasy start of the week, I'm going to go with Devontae Smith of the Philadelphia Eagles, and he only had one reception on 5 targets for 8 yards this week, but here is my level of panic with Devontae Smith. 0. He has a favorable matchup against the Cowboys. I think this is going to be a game where Jalen Hurts is going to have to throw the ball a little bit. And when the top corner is covering AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, I think is going to have a lot of open looks. So I'm looking at 6 catches. I'm looking at a touchdown on the day. So I think this is going to be a bounce back performance from Devontae Smith. So that's where I'm at with my starts and sits this week.
Sounds pretty legitimate to me. So, Natale, you have a start and sit?
Yeah, I think I have a couple, but they're definitely not sexy picks like Flynn's. But I'll give it a whirl.
All right, go for it.
The floor is yours.
Yeah, my start of the week is probably a very unconventional pick here, but with what's his face with Drake London being rolled out, I'm going with Darnell Mooney as my start of the week. I'm looking for him to get a lot of targets here. With the Saints being so bad, I think there's a pretty good chance for Mooney to get involved. So if he's on the waiver wire, I would say go for it. Pick him up. My sleeper for the week is going to be Emmanuel Wilson of the Green Bay Packers. With Josh Jacobs set to miss a game or two, he's going to be an intriguing add off the waiver wire, and he could very well get involved in the passing game. And I'm picking my sleeper of the week is going to be Khalil Shakir of the Buffalo Bills. Going into week 11, the Bucs were one of 3 teams that allowed less than 100 receiving yards to wide receivers. So yeah, I'm looking for the Bucs defense to step up, and what's going to be a very defensive game between the Bills and the Bucs.
So the Bills are playing the Texans this week.
Oh, sorry. My bad. I meant to say the Texans were one of I goofed. Yeah. The Texans were one of 3 teams in week 11 to allow 100 receiving yards or less to wide receivers. So I'm looking for a very defensive battle here. I'm looking for the Texans to keep Josh Allen and those receivers in check. It's going to be I think a good run game for both teams. I see this being a very defensive battle. So I'm looking for Houston to repeat what they did last week.
It's gonna be a monster game for both teams as they're competing for AFC wildcard spots. The Texans coming off a couple of back-to-back wins against division rivals. Now they have to turn it around and play and host the Bills in a big Thursday night game. So why don't we say take a look at it at the scores? But before we do that, bye week 12.
Yep, the Broncos, Commanders, Dolphins, and Chargers. So yeah, you definitely want to. I mean, basically the main sits there is going to be like Ladd McConkey. He's going to do you no good. Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane, Broncos, Cortland Sutton. He'll be a major sit there.
Their
defense.
Yeah, but McLaurin and Daniels have been hurt for weeks now.
Well, so basically, if you got any of those guys, just go ahead and either bench them or just let them go if you have to, if worse comes to worse. And so, with that being said, we're going to go straight into our NFL picks, see how we do against the spread this week. We are going to start in Houston with the aforementioned matchup between the Texans and the Bills. Bills coming in this game as 5.5 point favorites. So what are y'all seeing in this one? I'm just gonna step up a little bit, gotta stretch my legs a little bit. So y'all go ahead. Ugh.
You go first, Blake.
All right, so I think this is a tricky game because I have a higher opinion on the Texans than most people do, and the Texans have reeled off a few wins there and there. They should have beaten Denver in Week 9, but it was a game that they let slip away there. But the Texans have been a really good defensive team. In fact, we mentioned Josh Allen's got a tough matchup, so. Against Texans defense, but I don't think Josh Allen is gonna have 6 touchdowns like he did just a couple of days ago against the Bucs. The Texans are a much better defensive team. They are well coached, and I think the last couple of times the Bills were in Houston, the Texans beat them. Yes, so I think because the Texans have a really strong defense, and it doesn't help that C.J. Stroud isn't going to be ready for the game because Stroud is practicing this week, but he's not going to be ready for that because they're saving his return for what's going to be a big matchup against Indianapolis coming up in 2 weeks, but. But on to the business at hand. I just think had it not been for Josh Allen being Superman, the Bills would have lost the game last week. So I think it's going to be a defensive game. But I think it's going to be one where the Bills win. But I'm going to grab the points with the Texans, and I'm going to pick the Texans to cover. But the Bills win by a score of 17-14.
Yeah, right. I'm pretty much in agreement here. This right out of the gate, this is my point spread game of the week. This game almost screams trap, but not quite. I mean, like I said earlier, the Texans were one of 3 teams to allow less than 100 receiving yards. I don't think that's going to happen here again, but nonetheless, I think it's still going to be a low scoring game. Josh Allen's going to go to the ground a lot. He's going to get probably more rushing touchdowns than passing touchdowns. So with that being said, I'm going to go a fairly low scoring affair here too. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills to win this one 23-20.
Okay, I'm going to agree with y'all. I'm kind of giving a little bit slider edge as far as the spread to Buffalo. I believe they will win and cover on this one. I'm taking Buffalo over Houston 24-17.
All right.
That is the Thursday night matchup. And now we're going to the Sunday games, and there are no international games. Are there any more international games for the rest of the season?
I think that's it.
Nope, we're done.
I'm done with the international games for the year. So with that being said, let's go straight to Chicago, where we have a matchup of 2 historically great teams. The Bears at home against the Steelers. The Bears coming in at 2.5-point favorites. And this is going to be it's going to be one of those games that's going to be kind of interesting. I mean, they're expecting day to day. I think it's like a day to day thing with Aaron Rodgers with this hand situation. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that. Of course, Pittsburgh's defense has been kind of slightly below average here, even though they're probably the most expensive defense that there is. Chicago. This actually ties into well, I forgot to mention that I had a start and sit, but I guess I could implement my start in this one here. I would go ahead and start Rome Odunze. I'll go ahead and start him. Right now, he's got 39 receptions for 600 yards and 6 touchdowns. According to ESPN, he could get 7 targets and maybe 4 receptions for about 65 yards and 1 touchdown. And I would go ahead and start Odunze because the Steelers are actually allowing the most fantasy points per game against wide receivers. So there's something you might want to chew on right there. And I guess with that, I will go ahead and I will go ahead and take the Bears and give the points. So give me the Bears over the Steelers. Let's just call it 26 26-21. Give me the Bears.
Yeah, I'm actually on the opposite side here. I'm going definitely against the spread here. I'm liking the Pittsburgh Steelers in this match, whether Aaron Rodgers plays or not. I just cannot deny that defense. That defense is really lethal. And yeah, DJ Moore hasn't really been solid at all. Yeah, so you can really only rely on a couple of people in the catching field. Colston Loveland, maybe Cole Kmet, and Rome Odunze. You really only have like one reliable person, Rome Odunze. He can't carry the team. I mean, the Bears' best chance is probably to give passes to DeAndre Swift, but I just don't see that happening with that tough Steeler defense. So I'm taking the Steelers to win this one, 28-24. You're muted, Flynn.
Believe it or not, guys, I'm 0-10 against the spread picking Steelers games this year. So congratulations to the Pittsburgh Steelers for getting the win, because I am picking the Chicago Bears to win this game. I mean, look, Aaron Rodgers against the Bears, it feels like it's like a tale as old as time, and Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears. He was talking about taking games against the Bears personally, but I just think the Steelers have been the most inconsistent team in the NFL this year, and the games against the spread that involve teams that are so inconsistent like that drive me crazy. So how am I supposed to evaluate these games? But but the Bears have been winning a lot of games a lot of different ways. The loss against Minnesota, the game against Minnesota should have been a devastating loss. They blew a 13-point lead in the fourth quarter, but Devin Duvernay's return set the Bears up in field goal range, and they wound up kicking a field goal there. But I just think the Steelers are too inconsistent. I just can't trust them right now. I'm gonna take the team with the better quarterback right now, and that's Caleb Williams. I'm taking the Bears to win 21-18.
So, alrighty then. Now we go to a very interesting AFC matchup in Cincinnati. The Bengals will be hosting the Patriots. The Patriots are coming in at 7.5-point favorites. Natale, how do you see this one?
This basically makes no difference to me. Even if for some crazy reason Jamar Chase's suspension gets reversed, I highly doubt it's going to happen.
It did not. The league announced it today. His suspension was upheld.
Okay. Yeah, so this basically just makes matters worse for the Bengals. And yeah, I mean, Joe Burrow is still slowly getting it together. He's not fully there yet. So yeah, this game automatically screams lock of the week for me. I'm locking in the New England Patriots to win this one. Let's see, 28-17. Lock it up.
Lock them up. Lock them up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm picking New England too. I mean, what a terrible job for Jamar Chase making himself unavailable for the majority for most of that game against the Steelers, and now no Jamar Chase and no Joe Burrow, and it's just another gift for the Patriots as they march on their way to the AFC the AFC East crown. I mean, Drake May's been great. TreVeyon Henderson's gonna go off against Cincinnati, and the superior head, and I just think Mike Vrabel against Zach Taylor is one of the biggest coaching mismatches of the entire week. So I'm rolling with the Patriots. They're gonna win this game by a score of 28-13, but it's not my lock of the week.
Yeah, this is not my lock of the week either. Even though New England is going to, I would say New England will win and cover. Still don't know how healthy Joe Burrow is, if he is going to be game ready.
Yeah.
Of course, the Jamar Chase thing, the spitting incident. I mean, man, it's just not cool. It
Yeah.
just isn't. I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
there's better ways to deal with that,
yeah. I think Joe Burrow is the he's on. It's looking like that Thanksgiving game against the Ravens is probably when he's going to make his return.
So I'm gonna make this. Yeah, as I said, this is not my lock of the week, but I am taking New England considerably over the Bengals by a score of 31-17. And with that being said, we're going to move over to the Motor City, where Detroit is at home. They are 10.5-point favorites against the visiting New York Football Giants. And so, since I am the outsider on this one, I will go ahead and start first. This looks like almost as big of a mismatch as our previous game, the Jets and the Patriots and the Bengals. Detroit, they have done so well with Dan Campbell working with two new coordinators this year. They're almost like last year's team. They've had a couple of losses here and there, but still very formidable. Scadaboo's out for the year. We just have to keep an eye on Jackson Dart and his health, and I don't know how soon he might be able to return, but it looks like once again it might be Jameis Winston starting again. But I'm going to have to give this to the Detroit Lions. This is not my lock of the week either, but I'm going to go ahead and give it to Detroit by a score of, 27 to, I hate to do this to you guys, 27-16. Yeah,
this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this one, I actually think this is going to be a lot closer than anticipated. I would say in his head coaching debut, I think Mike Kafka did a decent job. There were some highs and lows, but overall, not bad actually. It was just that last play of the game wrecked everything. That last interception, that was not Winston's fault. Well, what's his face? Isaiah Hodgins ran the wrong route. He ran the wrong way, and there was an easy interception there. It could have very well tied the game. But yeah, despite that blemish, Mike Kafka was actually pretty solid in his debut. And yeah, I think this is going to be another interesting one. I think the Giants are going to be very competitive here until the very end, but in the end, Detroit is just too good. I'm going to take the Giants with the points, but I'm going to give the victory to the Lions. I'll go 26-20.
Yeah, I couldn't circle the Lions fast enough. I mean, the Lions are coming off a loss. I think that's the big context here. The Lions are coming off a loss where they scored 9 points. And I think the Lions are going to go off in this one. I think big game for Jared Goff, big game for Gaz Montgomery. I think Jamison Williams is a must start this week because how does Shane Bowen still have a job? I think he's going to be, the Giants are going to be carved up like Swiss cheese on Sunday. I remember and if you look at the playoff picture, if the season were to end today, it doesn't. The Lions at 6-4 would be left out of the playoffs. So they have a sense of urgency going in here, and so this should be a get right game for the Lions, right? Because or is it because they have a big Thanksgiving game coming up in the division next week? So it's important for the Lions to get this one in. So I'll take the Lions to win 42-21.
Alrighty then. So with that, we're going to now go to Green Bay with an NFC North matchup. Packers at home against the Minnesota Vikings, and Green Bay comes in at 6.5-point favorites on this one. And this leads me to my sit of the week.
Oh.
Yes. For those of you who have TJ Hawkinson on your fantasy roster, you might want to bench him.
I'm glad I dropped him.
Might want to bench TJ Hawkinson here. Right now, so far, he's got 34 receptions for 280 yards and only 2 touchdowns. And for this week against Green Bay, they're only projecting him for like 4 receptions and about 34 yards, give or take a yard or two. Packers are only allowing 5.8 yards per target, and they're one of the top teams and allowing the fewest points against tight ends in fantasy. So you might want to sit TJ Hawkinson on this one. And for this game with Green Bay 6.5, I'm going to take Green Bay and I'm going to give the points. And I'm going to go Green Bay 28, Minnesota 21.
I mean that's actually a really good call because T.J. Hawkinson has not had a top 15 weekly finish among fantasy in tight ends since week 3 when the Vikings blew out the Bengals. So yeah, so it feels like that's a pretty good option there. So Natale, who are you picking in this one? Packers pick by 6.5.
Yeah, I definitely like the point spread here. Yeah, especially with even though Josh Jacobs isn't expected to play, I do see some upside here from Emmanuel Wilson. I do see the Vikings keeping it somewhat close, but in the end, I do think that Green Bay receiving core is going to be just too much. I'm going to take Green Bay to win this one 30-22.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the points with the Minnesota Vikings, and I think JJ McCarthy has been a Jekyll and Hyde type of quarterback because some of his hero ball stuff has been pretty good, but he's also been pretty reckless with the football. So I think it's gonna be another resemblance of both. And Green Bay did not play their best game, yet they found a way to win. So, but I think in a divisional game, I'm going to guard against a close game here and grab the points with Minnesota. But because remember, the Vikings beat the Packers twice last year. So I think that's a backdrop there. But I'm going to pick the Packers to win by a score of 27-22.
All right. Now we go to Nashville, Tennessee.
You're muted.
Okay. As I was about to say, we're going to Tennessee where the Seahawks are coming into Nashville against the Titans. And this looks like another mismatch here. Seattle is picked by 13.5. Yeah, this is going to be ugly. It's not going to be for the fan of heart. This is only going to be for Seahawks fans or any fans that just don't like the Tennessee Titans. I really like it seems like Sam Darnold's season has gotten just better and better with every passing week. So maybe it was not a mistake for the Vikings to let him go. But Tennessee just don't have a chance. Offense, trash. Defense, trash. So I'm going to give it to Seattle. It's 13.5. So yeah, I think that they'll be able to cover that. I'm going to do I guess this is what you would call my double up game of the week. Seattle 28, Tennessee 14.
So picking Seattle to just cover the 13.5 point spread.
Right. It's yeah, Tennessee will make it interesting, but not that interesting.
All right. Yeah, I'm basically going to do exactly the same thing that you did. I'm gonna go 14 points right on the nose also, but I'm gonna go 32-18 if my math is right. Hold on. 32. Yeah, 32-18.
Yeah, is that your pick?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this is the best bet of the week. I mean, Seattle outgained the Rams by nearly 170 yards, but Sam Darnold's 4 interceptions were the big difference in why they lost to the Rams. I mean, you think Seattle's pissed after the way they lost that game, and now they get to play in the worst team in football in the Titans. Yeah, I think Seattle is going to destroy the Titans. I don't know how the Seahawks, how the Titans get to 3 points. So I'm going to go Seattle wins 26-3. It is my lock of the week. And it's my garbage game of the week.
Not where I thought you were going with that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting there.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely, my garbage game is definitely coming up. You guys probably know what that one will be.
Yep. We got a couple of 1 o'clock games that you skipped over, Tim. So we'll get it. Yeah. I'll go into them right now. So Tim, the Baltimore Ravens, they're at home favorite by 13.5 points, taking on Tyrod Taylor and the New York Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Justin Fields was benched this week in favor of Tyrod Taylor. So with that being the backdrop, make your picks, guys.
Yeah. Personally, I honestly prefer Tyrod Taylor as the quarterback over Justin Fields. Right? Yeah, Justin Fields is way too inconsistent. Yeah, I think Tyrod Taylor is going to make this game kind of interesting. I mean, the Ravens are struggling a little bit, but not as much as the Jets. I'm actually inclined to taking the Jets with the points here. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give this one to the Ravens though, 27-17. I think 13.5 is a tall order in this case, with the Ravens struggling a bit.
I'm kind of inclined to do that myself here. So let's see here. See, the line is 13.5. So let's see here. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make this my point spread game of the week. It's gonna be 30-18. Taking the Ravens with the game, but I'm taking the Jets with the points.
Yeah. I'm sharing the brain with the two of you on this. I'm grabbing the points with the Jets. Now, I'm of course higher on the Ravens than you guys are. They're my pick to win the Super Bowl, but the Ravens on the eye test the last 3 weeks, even though they've all won, they haven't been great. I mean, Lamar Jackson was atrocious against the Browns, but it was a game the Ravens came back and won because the Browns played like the clowns. But yeah, I think Tyrod Taylor gives them the best chance to at least be competitive in this game. I think he's better with the forward pass. I think he can make some things happen. Despite all of the garbage that he has around him. So yeah, I'm the Ravens gonna win, but my score is 27-16. So I'm gonna grab the points with the Jets.
All righty then.
Yeah, and then one more game that you skipped over, Tim. We got your Kansas City Chiefs, Tim, at home, favored by 3.5 points, taking on your Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, save me for last on this one. This one I got. I got some dish for this one. Save me for last on this.
Yep. All right, Tim, go ahead.
Well, Kansas City just came up a little bit short last week against those Denver Broncos. Now they're going up against a team that's I think it's done slightly better than the Broncos. A real good start. Jonathan Taylor is still running up those yards, and it looks like Daniel Jones is he still injured?
No, Daniel Jones is healthy.
Oh, he's healthy. So okay, I think I may have heard somewhere that he was injured, but no, He's healthy. Jonathan Taylor's healthy. Looks like the defense is healthy as well. So actually, this is not my upset special, but I do see Indianapolis taking down Kansas City. Kansas City could be a little bit shaky. There may be some chinks in the armor right there. And with the Chiefs' loss this week, it's going to make the Thanksgiving game look a little bit better, if you know what I mean.
I mean, two teams that'll be fighting for their playoff lives in front of an audience of what I believe will be 50 million people.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is not my upset special, but I am going to take the Colts over the Chiefs. It's going to be a close one. I'm going to call it 28-26.
Yeah, it's. I mean, 3.5 does count as an upset special, so we'll just do it anyways. Yeah, and that's the same thing for me. Upset special. I'm gonna take the Indianapolis Colts to go on the road to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Look, I'm of the opinion that I think that the Chiefs' air invincibility is just not there this year. And while the point differential has been better for the Chiefs this year compared to where they were last year, that they're just not winning the close games. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has been, let's be honest, terrible since ever since I sang his praises in the mid-season review show about how he's been the best fantasy quarterback in the league. He's turned into a pumpkin, and things are gonna have to turn around faster for this to happen. So yeah, I'm gonna pick the Colts this one. I think big game for Jonathan Taylor, who who should be in the conversation for league MVP, and I think this is gonna be one where I think Alec Pierce is gonna make a big time catch late in the game. So I'm gonna take the Colts to win this one 23-20 over the Chiefs.
Ooh, yeah.
All right, Natale, we want to hear what you got to say.
Yeah. As far as this game goes, I got this as my game of this is the game of the week, I think, right here. You're gonna get a lot of points galore all over the place. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is gonna have a monster day. Daniel Jones is gonna have a monster day. I mean, both defenses are gonna struggle pretty bad, but it's gonna come down to which wide receiving trio looks better. Look at this: Josh Downs, Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce. On the other side, you got Rashid Rice, Xavier Worthy, Juju Smith-Schuster. It's going to come down to which of those three trios is healthier right now. Juju Smith-Schuster hasn't done much of anything. Xavier Worthy hasn't done much of anything. Rashid Rice has done all the work. It's going to take more than one person. On the other side, the Colts, the three trios, they're sharing the ball. They're more intact. So this is my upset special of the week too. I'm on the same page as all you guys, but it's going to be a slugfest. I'm going 34-30.
Ooh, interesting. All right, I guess that does it for the 1 o'clock games. Now we move on to the 3 o'clock games. And Natale, I think this is the one that you thought was a garbage game.
Which one?
The Cleveland Browns at the Las Vegas Raiders.
All right, you called it. Let's just play it right out of the gate. Boom.
Is this the same thing for you too, Tim?
This is my garbage game of the week.
Yeah, let's just.
All right.
All right, those Raiders are coming in. The Cleveland Browns are going to be over in Las Vegas. The Raiders come in at 3.5 point favorites. I say Vegas is going to bounce back, but not by much. Got roughed up by that Cowboy defense, especially by the Cowboy offense. I mean, Dak Prescott throwing 4 touchdown passes to each one to a different receiver. So he got one. He got one to Lamb. He got one to Ferguson. He got one to Pickens. I want to say the other one was to Hunter Lepke, but I'm not too sure. But four passes, each one to a different receiver, spreading the wealth there. I think the Raiders are gonna kind of bounce back here. This is gonna be not too low scoring of a game. It's gonna be moderately low. Give me the Raiders over the Browns, 23-20.
Yeah, I definitely have this as a super low scoring game. Yeah, both offenses have been just terrible. It's basically pretty much going to come down to who gets the ball last in this one. This has garbage game written all over it. Both teams are only going to get 1 touchdown apiece, 2 tops. But give me the Browns to win this one. Oh, I'm actually taking the Browns here. I think this qualifies as an upset special also because I'm on the opposite side. I have the Browns winning this one by a very low, modest score of 13-10.
Look, I'm grabbing the points with the Browns, but I just think it's gonna be a bad game. But I'm gonna beg. I think Vegas coming off a loss bounces back because I think Vegas has kind of a coaching advantage in this game with Pete Carroll against Kevin Stefanski, but not even that I'm confident in. Yeah, my second choice for sit of the week was in fact Ashton Genty in terms of sitting running backs, but I just think Genty's going to have too many touches for that to happen, and I think he's going to have some receptions in there as well. So all that aside, but I'm going to pick the Raiders to win this game on a winning field goal by Daniel Carlson. I would start Daniel Carlson in this game if you have him. I pick him to win 19-16.
All righty, Dan. All right, now we go to let's talk about the Jaguars and the Cardinals over at State Farm Stadium. This looks like a typo to me, but I guess it's not. Jacksonville picked by 2.5.
Yes, indeed. The Jaguars are coming in as 2.5-point favorites in this one. You read it correctly.
So, Flynn, let me hear your thoughts about this one.
I've been the dumbass that's been picking the Arizona Cardinals for most of the time, and guess what? That's dumbass to your bottom, still picking the Arizona Cardinals to win football games. Look, Jacksonville to me also has kind of an inconsistent feel to me as well, in addition to the Cardinals, but I do think I do like the Cardinals' chances. I mean, because they show they can move the ball up and down the field against the 49ers, and I think that they can do the same thing against Jacksonville. Now, it doesn't help with Jacksonville that they're a little banged up at the wide receiver position, but I think the Cardinals are going to take advantage here in this one. I'm going to pick the Cardinals to win by a score of 23-20.
Yeah, I'm on the opposite side here. I think I'm taking Jacksonville. Somehow they're playing a lot better than most of us anticipated. I believe if the playoffs started today, I think Jacksonville would be in it if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, let me just see for a second. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a graphic recently, so Jacksonville would be in.
Yep, as the 7th seed.
Yeah. I think right now things are they're a bit frisky and fun right now. Jacksonville has played surprisingly well here. And then on the Cardinals side, Michael Wilson had a career game. I think he had like 10 catches, 135 yards, something like that. I don't see lightning striking twice here though. I think they're going to hold him in check. I'm going to take Jacksonville to win this one, but in a very close game. I'm going to go 20-17.
Okay, I'm kind of leaning toward the side of Flynn here. I'm going to go with Arizona as the home team. I mean, they're not the best in the NFC, but they can do stuff here. They still have, I mean, they got that great tight end, Trey McBride. He's still working things there. I am going to take, this is going to be a close game. That'd be a late field goal. Give me Arizona over Jacksonville, 27-23. And with that, well, it looks like we're going to my game now.
Mm.
It is those Philadelphia Eagles, aka those filthy Philadelphia chickens. We'll be squawking into AT&T Stadium against my Cowboys. And the Eagles come in at 3.5-point favorites. And since I am the Cowboys fan, I will let you guys give your opinions first.
All right, Natale, what's your pick?
Yeah, this one was actually kind of tough. I was kind of going back and forth on this one. I feel like the Cowboys should win this one, but in the end, I think they're going to come up a bit short here. But I'm actually going to grab the Cowboys with the points here. It's going to be a lot more interesting than people think. I think they're going to stay in it. The offense is going to hang around long enough. The defense is going to hang around long enough. But in the end, I think the Eagles are going to make a defensive stop, and that will seal the game for them. So I'm going to take the Eagles to win this one, 28-27.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys to win the game. Upset
Ooh.
special. Look, I still think the Eagles are the best team in the NFC. I still think the Eagles are going to wind up at the end of the day representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. But I just think this is not a tough spot for Philly because Lane Johnson is hurt. That's a big deal. Their offensive line is still banged up. Because in the game against Detroit, the Eagles were just 1 for 6 on the tush push. Which is crazy to believe, but that's actually what transpired on Sunday night against Detroit. But yeah, the Cowboys have matchups in this game. I think Dak Prescott should be able to throw the ball to his receivers. I think they're going to be a better team running the football. And with Quentin Williams in there, I think they'll be able to stop the run, and I think and limit Saquon Barkley and what he can do on the grounds. And I mean, not to say that Barkley's been having a great season, because he's only had like one incredible game so far, and that was against Shane Bowen's defense. But the Cowboys have matchups in this game, and I think they're going to win this game. But I have them winning by a score of 21-19.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I think with that being said, we got to hear from Jimmy.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You got to
All right. So Natale's going with the Eagles.
Yep, but I'm grabbing the points though.
Grabbing the points with the Cowboys, and Flynn's going to go with the Cowboys. And I'm starting to feel. I mean, my big question is, can Saquon Barkley? I mean, he started the first few games not quite the receiver, or not quite the rusher that he was last year when he could have rushed for over 2,000 yards in a season. They decided to bench him in the final game of the season. And it's just a little bit uneven. But like I said, the Cowboys plugged in 5 guys on their defense last night. 3 coming back from injury, 2 rookies, 1 rookie coming in, and there's these other guys came in. So they made a big difference to the Cowboys defense. I think it may be slightly improved. And yeah, I'm on the same side as Flynn. Flynn, sound the alarm again. Yeah, my Cowboys. I said at the beginning of the season I was afraid that the Eagles were going to take the series sweep against the Cowboys, but I will take a split with the Cowboys. Give me my boys by a score of it's going to be a field goal from Brandon Aubrey from at least 55 yards out. Give me my Cowboys over those Eagles 27-24. Now, we heard from Jimmy. Let's hear about Jerry dancing with the devil.
Okay.
I want me some glory hole.
Okay, oh, that'll work. But we can dance with the devil too, can we?
Yep.
Yeah, where is that?
It's I think
Ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? What?
Because I've danced with the devil, the financial devil, and lived to tell about it.
so funny what that guy says sometimes. Just makes
Oh,
me
yeah.
laugh. Okay, last of the late Sunday games. We got Atlanta and New Orleans. We kind of mentioned this a little bit early in the show. New Orleans coming in at 1.5-point favorites. As I said, Bijan Robinson's having a great game, but it's just terrible how Atlanta's playing. You got to start Kyle Pitts. Darnell Mooney is going to be coming in. Drake London is having injuries, or is it the other way around? I can't remember. Meanwhile, Chris Olave, you might want to start him. This is an evenly matched game, evenly matched bad teams. So as an old buddy of mine says, if you don't know who to pick for, just pick the home team. So with that, I'll go ahead and take the Saints over those Falcons. Let's call it give it a mode score 26-21. Give me the Saints over the Falcons.
Yeah, this one I kind of went back and forth on. I just made a last second change, so I'm calling the kind of an audible on this one. I initially picked the Falcons, but now with basically Darnell Mooney out, with Drake London being out all but confirmed, this being without your number one wide receiver is gonna hurt big time. So in the end, I'm calling an audible here. I'm switching to the Saints, but it's going to be a very ugly game nonetheless. So it's just going to be a pretty low scoring game. I'm going to go 18-16. Give me the Saints.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the team with the better coach and the better quarterback. Give me the New Orleans Saints to win this game. And look, the Tyler Shuck, if you actually watched him play the last week against Carolina, he put up some 2 weeks ago against Carolina because the Saints were off last week. So he made some pretty decent throws. I'm not gonna lie, he is a pretty decent pocket passer. And I think that means you're gonna have a big game from Chris Olave, and I think that's gonna be a big deal for Olave managers because I think he's gonna have a lot of opportunities against the Falcons defense that just gave up 400 plus yards of through the air to Bryce Young and 130 receiving yards to TreVeyon McMillan. I could see Chris Olave going on a similar run here on Sunday. So give me the Saints to win the game by a score of 21-13.
All right.
And also, how does Raheem Morris still have a job? How does Rich McKay, the CEO of the Falcons, have a job? I mean, where is Arthur? And also, the Falcons don't have their first round pick next year because the first round pick is being owned by the Rams, and the Rams would that would be the 8th overall pick. So,
Yeah, pretty pathetic of how they're running things in Atlanta. We have the Sunday night game of the week. It's going to be the LA Rams at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, this is a very interesting matchup right here. Rams coming in at 6.5-point favorites. So, Flynn, let me hear what you say for the Bucks and the Rams.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna grab the points with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I think both teams find themselves in tough spots. As because the Bucks are playing back-to-back road games against playoff contenders, the Bills and the Rams. But so, Bobby, I mean, the only reason the Rams won last week in Seattle was because they won the turnover battle by a pretty substantial margin and forced all those turnovers. And most importantly, the Rams held the Seahawks to just 1 of 4 in the red zone. But the Seahawks were 7 of 16 on third down against Seattle, and I think Baker Mayfield being a good third down quarterback, I think is gonna keep drives going. I think it's gonna keep the Bucks in this game. But I think Stafford's going to go on a winning drive in the late in the game and score a winning touchdown in the end. So I'm going to take the Rams to win a fun one in Tampa. I'm going to go by a score of 26-21 over the Bucks.
Yeah, I'm also gonna grab the points here. The Buck. I'm looking for Baker Mayfield and Mika Ibuka to have bounce back games. Devontae Adams only having one catch for 1 yard and a touchdown, completely unacceptable. He's a lot better than that. He's gonna look to bounce back too, and he will. So I think he's gonna double down. He's gonna get 2 touchdowns, propelling LAR to their victory, 32-28.
And well, y'all may call me crazy on this thing. I was just looking at this thing here because I've kind of locked some teams already this season. So my philosophy is if I lock them once, I cannot lock them again. So I had to find an excuse for this particular game. So yeah, I think the Rams are going to be all right. I mean, Rams are a pretty solid team. Tampa Bay, they're all right. But I'm going to take the Rams over the Bucks by a score of 30-21, and I decided to give the Rams my lock for this week. So,
all right.
Yeah. And so that brings us now to the Monday Night Football game, which features the Carolina Panthers at the San Francisco 49ers. And the 49ers come in at 7-point favorites. So what y'all got to say?
I mean, I actually thought this was the toughest game of the week to pick for me because San Francisco coming off a blowout win against the Cardinals. Although the way the two teams played, the final score it felt a lot closer than the final score indicated. I mean, you could say it in both ways, but. But yeah, the 49ers took advantage of winning the turnover battle 3-0, and they turned all of that into touchdowns. Whereas the Cardinals just kept throwing and throwing and throwing. So could it be a situation where Bryce Young throws for 300 yards again? Sure, but I just think Christian McCaffrey facing his old team and I don't believe that Christian McCaffrey has faced the Panthers since he left them. I don't think, right?
I don't think so either.
Yeah, let me see this. So, yeah, this is the first time that Christian McCaffrey has seen the Panthers since he traded him. So, Christian McCaffrey revenge game coming up on Monday night. So that could be something there, but I'm gonna lay the 7, pick the 49ers because I think Brock Purdy is back. I'm gonna take the Niners to win 28-18.
Yeah, I'm doing like the 10-point thing here too. Yeah, the Niners are clearly the better team right now. Even despite losing pieces, they have that next man up mentality that always seems to be working. Yeah, for some reason they can never catch a break. Having a full trio healthy, but that doesn't affect them one bit. They're still a very solid team. They're going to get it done. 31-21.
Well, I see it. I almost have the same score as you, Natale,
Mhm.
but for some strange reason, and I've already given my official point spread games of the week. Uh, I've got Carolina just barely covering here.
Ooh.
Yeah, I could probably see another good game from Rico Dowdle, and I am going to go ahead and call it 30-24. I'm going the Niners with the win, and I'm taking the Panthers with the points. So that's how I see it right there. And now, before we go, of course, we have to see if we know the answers to these trivia questions that we came up with earlier tonight. The first one, of course, was from Dashy. He said, which NFL player had the most carries in a single game in NFL history?
Yeah,
I think I know the answer. There was a young running back in Dallas. I think he was there for about, I won't say 3 seasons, but for one of his seasons, he just ran the hell off that field. I mean, they hardly threw any passes. They kept giving him the ball. They gave him the ball, gave him the ball, gave him the ball. I'm surprised he didn't run for 2,000 yards in a season. My answer to Dashy's question, DeMarco Murray.
Totally not what I was thinking of. I was thinking of I was thinking of a super legendary player. My first thought for some reason was Walter Payton.
Perhaps. What are you thinking, Flynn?
I kind of feel that Priest Holmes might have had a game like that with the Chiefs back in the day. So I'm gonna go with Priest Holmes.
Wowie.
I don't know if Dashy is still on. But let's look up the answer now.
Most carries in a single game in NFL history.
Okay. So the correct answer was Jamie Morris for Washington in 1988.
Jamie Morris?
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
1988.
Yeah, that was during my youth. I never heard of him. I was 2, so I never heard of him.
Yeah, I would not have not known that. So
I don't remember that guy. So
okay,
but interesting though.
Yep.
Yeah, Jamie Morris with 45 carries against the Bengals in '88. So,
all right.
Thanks for the confirmation.
Yeah.
So next we had
I think Flynn already put his in the thing here.
Yeah.
Among NFL tight ends with at least 25 receptions this season, who has the highest yards per reception rate? I feel like I have an idea on it, even though it feels too obvious. I still want to go with it. My first thought was Trey McBride.
Okay, so you're going with Trey McBride. Tim, what's your answer?
That's a good one. My obvious answer was Travis Kelce, but that's not the answer I'm going to give. I think my answer is going to be Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers? Have you not been watching the games this season?
Well, I sure hasn't been watching the Raiders, except last night.
I mean, I was gonna put up another I was gonna put up the Family Feud graphic, but I'm not.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Oh boy, it's all up to me now.
It is definitely not Brock Bowers. I can tell you that right now. It's not him.
Right. So So I was going to say Travis, but for some reason I don't think it's Travis Kelce. And it's a tight end, and he says has at least 25 receptions. Oh my goodness! I think I know who it is.
Who is it?
Jake Ferguson.
So Jake Ferguson, that's who you're going with?
Yeah.
All right, and then who is and then who is Natale going with?
He was going with Trey
Yeah,
McBride.
yeah. I mean, I kind of thought it was gonna I kind of thought it was gonna be Jake Ferguson because I think Tim would have said it, but I'm just gonna stick with Brock Bowers. Yeah. No, sorry, no, Trey McBride. Excuse me. I'm gonna stick with Trey McBride, even though I think it might be Jake Ferguson.
Yeah. So Jake Ferguson has the most receptions among tight ends, but he only has 6.7 yards per reception, which is kind of crazy.
Ooh,
so
I'm not dead yet. I may be. Let's see.
So Trey McBride has 10.1 yards per reception.
Ooh, it's looking good.
So the tight end with 25 more receptions and the most yards per reception is Dalton Kincaid of the Buffalo Bills.
Dalton Kincaid. Wow.
15.4.
Ah.
Nice.
Yeah, just a tenth of a yard higher than Tucker Kraft, who is out for the season with a torn ACL.
Wow.
So your answer is Dalton Kincaid of your Buffalo Bills.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So who's going to be next, Tim? You or me?
I think you are next.
All right. Let's see. All right. So yeah. So in the last Sunday, Mark Andrews made history. He became the tight end with the most rushing yards on a single play. He got a 35-yard run. So that's the longest rush ever by a tight end on a single play. Among all the tight ends, whose record did he break?
You might want to call me a homer again, but I'm gonna go with Jason Witten.
Hey, Jason Witten. All right. What do you say, Flynn?
I don't remember this, but maybe Evan Ingram. Maybe he had a weird play like that with the Giants. I'm not sure, so I'm gonna go with Evan Ingram.
Okay, so let's see. I'm just gonna scroll through here. Let's see. Okay. All right. I don't see Jason Witten even on the top 25. So first, let's play.
Yep.
So
yeah, he's a feud fan. So yeah.
All right. So it's up to Flynn now. So let's see. Flynn said Evan Ingram. Let's see. Evan Ingram is on the list. However, his longest rush was 7 yards.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Well,
he actually did it. He actually did a 7-yard rush this season, October 12th of 2025. He did a 7-yard rush.
So against the Jets. So that means for us, it sounds like this, right, Natale?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a player that you guys completely forgot about. I thought you guys were going to get this one. This player that he beat is on the active roster. He beat out Taysom Hill.
Oh, for God's sakes, Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill had a 30-yard rush on November 12th of 2025.
Wow.
And then he's also third on the list. He did the same. He did a 20-yard rush on 11/9/2025.
Oh, gosh.
So, yeah, Taysom Hill broke the record of Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith had a 10-yard rush. Jonnu Smith broke the record of Evan Ingram. So, Flynn, you were actually pretty close nonetheless, actually. Despite that mess, you were actually fairly close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, very interesting questions here. And
it's weird. We're seeing rushes by tight ends now because Jonnu Smith did his longest rush 10/12/2025.
I mean, and now before you know it, you'll probably see Kyle Shanahan try and dial one up for George Kittle because that's what Shanahan does.
Yep, that's what
Wow,
he
the top
does.
10. Yeah, look at this. It's 1 through 16. Wait, 1 through 17. Let's see. Yeah, 1 through
Okay.
25 are in the record books. 1 through 25. That's ridiculous. You're seeing a lot of rushes by tight ends.
Yeah. So with that being said, my question, of course, was which running back holds the NFL record for the most receiving yards?
I mean, I'm gonna go with Alvin Kamara because like the reason why he's such a popular name in fantasy is because his PPR numbers have been insane. So I'm gonna go with Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, I think it's a player from
Kamara. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's a player from the past. Actually, I'm going with like an 80s or 90s player. I'm going with Marcus Allen.
Okay, so Flynn went with
Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara. Okay. So Flynn says Alvin Kamara. And Natale, you said
Marcus Allen.
Marcus Allen.
Hmm.
Well, I'm sorry, gentlemen. The correct answer is Marshall Faulk.
Ah.
Oh, Marshall Faulk from the Rams.
Yeah, the old St. Louis Rams, the greatest show on turf. He actually had 767 receptions for a total of 6,875 receiving yards.
Gee, sure. How much is Alvin Kamara at?
Kamara is 8th place with 4,944.
Oh wow!
Did I come close?
And let me see. He said Marcus Allen.
Mhm.
Let's see here. Well, unless I pay money to go premium on this thing, I do not see Marcus Allen. Oh yeah, Marcus Allen. Marcus Allen is 5th place with a total of 5,411.
Okay, not too far off.
You weren't that far off. So yeah, so it was Marshall Faulk, the old Marshall plan.
Ah.
And, what? And I think Dashy had it too. So I guess with that, we will go ahead and put to a close this edition of the Fantasy Football Fever Show. Flynn, your first Hooked on Sports, is it up yet, or are you preparing for?
Yes, it is up. So I talk about the things from week 11. I talk about the huge news in Major League Soccer that went down this week. So that the schedule, instead of being from February to December, is now going to be aligned with the other major sports soccer leagues around the world. So instead of February to December, it's going to be from August to May. So which would be a much more attractive for international free agents to come in.
Right. So check out Hooked on Sports. You can look on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, and don't forget you can also watch Hooked on Sports on his YouTube channel.
Yeah. And I also talk about why I believe the voters got it right in the Aaron Judge versus Cal Raleigh debate for MVP. Said that Judge won his third MVP in 4 years. And I'm actually pretty happy he did, because all Cal Raleigh had was the home runs and the RBIs.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, but, and then I also look at some other things in free agency based upon an article Jeff Passan dropped earlier today on it.
Yeah. It kind, that kind of reminds you of that one year when Barry Bonds won league MVP when it should have been Albert Pujols.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress. Anyway, this is Hooked on Sports. Watch Hooked on Sports, and don't forget tomorrow night, Penning Game Pickup Show, Wednesday, 10 p.m. 9 p.m. Central, APSL 90 channel, with our special guest picker, the one and only Dashy. So, but of course, we'll be back next week. And of course, next week, we'll be talking about probably my favorite week.
Oh, yeah. The Thanksgiving week. Oh, yeah.
Thanksgiving week. We'll talk about the 3 Thanksgiving games. We'll talk about the Black Friday game. And of course, the other games that are coming up on the week. My favorite week of the NFL season is just about upon us.
Oh, yeah.
So, I guess we'll go ahead and bring this thing to a close. Thanks, guys. I can't do the show without you. You know that.
Yep.
For sure.
And of course, we cannot do this show without all of you out there. So, hopefully you'll join us 7 nights from now. Same bat time, same bat channel. For John Flynn, for John Natale. My name is Tim McCallum. Thanks so much. Enjoy the games, everyone. Have a great week. See you back here next week. God bless y'all. And as always, be a good sport. See you.